Welcome back to the Positive Side Podcast. Glad you're tuning in. The host, Jeremy Todd, coming to you from the world headquarters in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Glad you're tuning in. Today, we're going to go over, I saw this tweet the other day, and if you haven't followed me, might as well, and I probably already lost it, but that's okay. Let's find it again. It is from my man, Ryan Halliday, and we're going to go over his morning rules. And I just love this, and I actually shared it on all my social media. We're going to talk about that, but I want to talk to you about one other thing. This is interesting. Now, everybody that's been listening to my podcast for a long, long time, I come across, and if you know me, I tend to be very, very confident, and I have a strong opinion of things. But yeah, I've been working on myself. I'm always trying to get better and listen and learn. And I came across a situation the other day where I got into an argument, and I guess this is just me telling you the story because I'm trying to get better, and I want you to maybe take a little bit away from the story. The situation was, I don't even really want to get in the details, but I was convinced 100% that I was right. 100% convinced. And what happens is my ego gets in the way. And I might have been right. I don't know. I still don't know. And there's my ego talking again, but I don't think I was right. But I was so confident that I was so blinded by the actual reality of the situation. And what I did after thinking about it, 45 minutes later, a half hour, or it was like an hour, I came back to the same situation, same person. And I said, well, she tried to talk to me again. And I said, you know what? You're probably right. You brought up a good perspective, and I didn't take that in consideration. And you are right. The reason I'm telling you this story, because in life, and especially with me, I get so confident and so I believe every single word that I say, but sometimes just for a second, maybe you're not right. Maybe what you feel is right is not right. And when you shut down that barrier, instead of arguing and then try listening, you actually learn the different perspective and actually learn from the situation. And I learned that with my confidence being so powerful and so overwhelming, sometimes I always think I'm right, and I'm not. And man, it was a little bit of a sobering thing, and I don't even know if it makes any sense to you or not. And I guess I'm just trying to tell you this, that no matter what situation, when you feel you're right, maybe it's good to say, you know what, maybe I am wrong, and sit back from the situation and learn and get a different perspective. Because looking back, I think I grew in that situation. I learned a lot more about myself that, maybe that's a big time area that I can try and get better. So again, boring story, but it just really fascinated me. And I thought about it for a week now, and I wanted to make sure I talked to you about that. Today's episode, as I mentioned today, is super, super cool. And, I love my mornings. I love getting up, getting focused and getting rocking and rolling. Well, let's get into Ryan Holiday. Follow him on Twitter, follow him on social media. When I snap this ahead, even it looks like Elon Musk even like this tweet. So morning rules. Number one, I love this one too. Get up early. The reason I get up early, I just love getting the day started. And this time of year, it's my favorite time to get up early because the sun is shining, the birds are chirping out there, tweeping. Birds are tweeting probably. They're out there chirping, and it's got this newness to the day. It feels like no matter what happened yesterday, I can start new today. And I've got, typically on my days off on Wednesdays, I might even sleep in a little bit later, but I don't feel as if I got my day started right when I sleep in. So if you're that type of person that maybe sleeps until 7, 8, 9, 10 o'clock, do me a favor, sleep in or wake up an extra half hour to 45 minutes early and don't do shit. Just literally go outside and just walk around the front yard, walk around the apartment complex, walk down the street. If you're in a city, whatever the case is, just go for a nice walk and sip coffee, sip your tea, do whatever you got to do, but just allow yourself to actually wake up. Because typically what happens is when we get in these routines, we wake up and boom, we just jump out of the chute. We got to go bing, bang, boom. We do all these things right in a row. And then we're fired into our day. It's like it never, ever stops. But when you actually slow down and take time to enjoy the morning, it makes a huge, gigantic difference. Number two, no phone for the first hour. And it kind of goes along with what I was just talking about, because when you can actually walk around and not have that phone, not looking at your phone, not scrolling, not trying to respond to emails, it just, again, allows yourself to actually have peace in the morning, and you gain different perspective, because it's similar to meditation. Well, just like meditation, it may be your form of meditation, that a lot of ideas come to you, a lot of situations come to you where you think clearly and differently about how you'll handle the situation. But if you don't have that time to process that information in your head, you may react differently throughout the day. Number three, again, I love it. Take a walk. I live close to a golf course now, which is beautiful, and I get to walk down, and I don't even walk around the golf course. I literally don't. I can just walk two doors down and just stare at the fairway, stare out, and just look out. Look at look at the trees in the distance, look at the birds, look at the people driving by, look at the people walking on riding their bikes. And man, it's very, very peaceful. And I also, one thing that's very, very important that I do is I work on my breathing. Deep breath in, deep breath out. It allows your mind and your body to calm and allows this soothing, I don't know, nature come over your body. And it's just, it's very, very powerful. And it goes all back to this morning ritual. And it goes back to, Ryan Holiday's morning rules, but it just allows you to have peace in the morning instead of getting fired out of a cannon and having, a shitstorm hit you right when you get out of bed, or worse, you're running late and then you're very, very reactive versus being very, very proactive. Number 4, sit with a journal. I don't do a very good job with that. I actually have my journal this morning. For you listening, you can't see it, but I'm getting into it this morning. I read this morning. I want to start writing stuff out and write what's in my head and make that list of the things I got to get done today. It just, again, being more organized, being more driven, being more focused, getting the important things done throughout the day is extremely important, because, every day is important. But nothing's worse than having the end of the day come along and say, I didn't get shit done that day, or this day's been crazy. I've been on the go all day long and didn't get anything done. That's a tough day for me, for sure. Number 1, 2, 3, 4. For number 5, do important things first. Typically, when I do my checklist, and I talk about this in a lot of my coaching calls, is when we do our checklist, the important things that don't get done today, you just move them to the checklist, to the top of the checklist for the next day. So you start crossing these things off. All these things you got to get done. So again, if you're not familiar with the checklist, you're not using one, I'm not sure what you're waiting for. Do it right away. And it could be 1 through 3. It could be 1 through 10. I wouldn't go any more than 10, but start putting these things on there. And then again, put the wins in the checklist. Go to lunch on your checklist so you can check that thing off. There's something subconscious about knocking things off your list and actually, and progressing through the day. But if you got all the hard things through your day and you don't get them done, sometimes it'll feel like you didn't get anything done. But as you go through the day, you're going to get some of those bigger things checked off. At the end of the day, when you don't get those things done on your checklist, you move those to the top of the checklist for the next day. So again, they become more and more important. And what happens over time, if you don't get these big things done, you just get tired of looking at them. You really do. You get tired of looking at them. And then eventually you're just like, shit, F this, I'm going to go ahead and get it done today. And you start marking these things off. And I'm telling you, you'll get a hell of a lot more done by using the checklist than you will by not using the checklist. And number 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Number 6, again, perspective. Number 6 is just be happy you woke up alive. There's so many people out there that would trade places for you in a second. People that maybe listen to this podcast that are in hospitals, that may be depressed, that may be going through some tough times, that may be in bed and can't get out. There's so many other things out there that we can be, grateful for and have this perspective. But when we wake up, if we don't have that attitude of gratitude and we're not happy we woke up, we lose that perspective very, very quickly. And it's important, that, again, you have that attitude of gratitude and you wake up being blessed and happy that you woke up alive. Let's go through these rules again. Ryan Holiday's My Morning Rules. Number 1, get up early. Number 2, no phone for the first hour. Number 3, take a walk. I love that one too. And hey, it could be walking around the yard too. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to go on a marathon in the first thing in the morning. Sit with the journal. And again, that's just peace. And if your journal has 1 thing on it or 10 things on it, that's a win. It doesn't have to be a manuscript. Again, it's just going through these things and practicing these things and seeing what works. And obviously it leads right into the next one. Do the important things first. Is having that checklist. Having that checklist of the things you got to get done throughout the day is extremely important. And the final one, be happy you woke up alive, man. Oh man, it's a beautiful day. If you're listening to this podcast, whether it's sunny, cloudy, rainy, doesn't really matter. Wake up with that perspective. Wake up with the idea that today is going to be different than yesterday. And no matter what you're going through, no matter how much you're struggling, no matter how happy you are, just be happy, even more happy that you woke up alive. And today's another chance to step into your greatness and be the person that you know deep down inside that you are. The Positive Side Podcast. Obviously, I love doing these episodes. We're trying with the office. We're a little bit more focused, a little bit more driven. We're getting more episodes out. I met with my friend Gordon Bell yesterday. He's going to be on the show in about 3 to 4 weeks, and I can't wait to have him on. He's done business in over 50 countries around the world, and he buys and sells businesses for a living. He's accomplished so much. So I met with him yesterday, so look forward to that podcast here. in September, but the schedule's packed. We got a lot of great people coming on the Positive Side Podcast. Glad you're tuning in. Do me a favor, leave those reviews on iTunes. Allows other people to find the show. Run over to YouTube, subscribe. I got 199 people. Man, are you going to be number 200? I hope you are. Go over there, subscribe, share these videos. I did a video this morning about my office and how hilarious it is. It looks hilarious. So make sure you check that out. And if you got any questions, email me, jeremy@jeremytodd.com. If you want to work with me one-on-one and start that podcast and get that mindset rolling, email me, jeremy@jeremytodd.com. You've got greatness within. Like always, this is The Positive Side.